Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Hope you are having a fantastic day. It is Tuesday, January 28th, 2025. Whew. Heart's pumping. We are. We exist right now. We exist. I just got an email and it's like, oh, you're live. Yeah, that's fair. That's YouTube. Thank you for telling me I hit the live button. Anyway, hello, welcome. I'm Uncommon, Casey, and I'm learning to draw. That's our spiel. If you're new to the channel, welcome, hello. If you're new to this idea, what we're doing is I'm teaching myself. Well, solo self-taught through a series of resources. Anyway, long story short, we're not gonna have a lot of great, fantastic pieces of art here today, but we're gonna have learning art in progress. Why? Because it's a method for getting me to draw. It's a forcing function to get me to put pencil to paper. And I tell you, yesterday was I think I even put it in the title, scariest day yet, anxiety driven, because it was the day when I was like, I need to start putting down art from imagination, minimal references, just as a method of like, I need to. That's part of the art journey, I think. Up until then, I'd drawn a lot of boxes, a lot of lines, a lot of strict copy from reference. And while those are good and those are pieces that tell me that I can put down I can put down the lines with enough time and erasing Um, but let's try and take a step, and again, an anxiety-driven step, because it was some of the worst things I've ever put down. And we're probably gonna do some more of that today. I have an art button. I only have an art. I have an art button, but I don't have anything set up on the art button yet. Well, I do on the button, but not on the screen. So let's get that screen going. We're rambling. Hello, hello, hello. They weren't that bad. they were the worst. It's part of the journey. I'm gonna beat myself up about it. I am. That's okay. We need a new file. And art button. Art button. So I've been thinking a little bit about your advice. A little bit of it. And the hardest thing hardest thing for me so far is finding references of things I want to draw. Or I think I said the other yesterday, like eyes. If I could get a bunch of eyes, I could draw a bunch of eyes over and over. Or faces would generally be good. I would love to get the face shape down or the pose. And I'm looking around like Pinterest, Google Images. Someone said Tumblr at some point, and that was full of porn, apparently. So that's that's been my search this morning. And Pinterest seems to be good so far for like, hey, here's some face shapes, here's some eyes, here's some mouths. You could even, get generally some faces. They all feel like you're learning from somebody who's learning from somebody. So where's the source? Where's the manga that I want to draw, right? All the different manga I enjoy, and those artists, we can go straight there. So then I'm searching through Shonen Jump chapters of different manga, and that can't settle on a page there either. So I think we just got to get down and just draw something. Pinterest, I hear, is running into issues of being flooded with AI art. I could see it. I don't see. I guess I've seen things that look like they could be. You're right. Well, looking at sketches and faces and eyes and things like that, probably not the AI bits, but if I go there now and I go to like home, and I've got no profile on Pinterest. I haven't even built this thing out. My front page is full of like 18 ways to draw a necktie, every type of mecha, the anime face from like 50 different angles. Hey, this is probably AI. That's probably AI. Is there a website that's actively aggressively identifying and tearing it down, or taking it down? Anyway, I'm looking off to the side of my second monitor, and there's a big white screen in the middle here. That's probably super entertaining. I stopped the coffee because I've been up since 8 and I've had 2 cups. I want more coffee. It's a great excuse to stall. Here. We won't stall entirely. Line. Put a line down. And now let's put a stabilized line down. We're gonna find my stabilization happy place over time. I think I'm gonna hit 20 today. 20. We're gonna sit at 20. All right, we'll be right back. I feel it, and we're just gonna get the jitters out by injecting ourselves with caffeine. We'll be right back, guys. Great start. Round 2. Brilliant idea. Just had one. I mean, not brilliant. I had this yesterday. I sorted through this yesterday. Because the thing the thought I'm having is I don't want to draw. I don't want to learn to draw the things I want to draw through the fan art of the things I want to draw. Find the source. And I did yesterday. I had a whole bunch of things. The art of... It's characterdesignreferences.com seemed to be a collection of various artists, you know, official work and references and sketches, and that seems like a great place to start. We're just gonna choose something over here again and go from there. They've got plenty of pieces. I mean, one piece isn't the only thing I want to draw. But I know they've got a lot of references here and some good stuff. So I'm going to scroll through this just for a moment, open up something on the page. We don't even know what we're doing today. Don't even know. Jeez, I thought this was easier to find stuff yesterday. Or I'm not. Scrolling too fast through the stuff. Oh, we used some of this Nami last time. Here we go. Sketches. Alright, I pulled them up for myself. Put some fucking time on time. Time on page. Hello and welcome. We brought him up. Hey, microphone, you gotta get out of my way. We've talked about this. Maybe I'll get out of your way this time. Just a little bit. Alright, so. Today, starting out, so I guess we'll do some warm-ups. We'll get ourselves flowing. So we start with a line. I think I want to find a good thickness too. I think we've been drawing really thick lately, so we're gonna try to work smaller. Get a little bit of a tilt, and let's do it in red. So yeah, it's size 15. It's one of the simple questions I'm gonna have to answer for myself. What brush size and resolution am I most comfortable working in? And so far the answer's been like real thick lines. They get in my way. That's a pretty good line. It seems to be I need to focus on the end where the line's going to get something out of it, or to get the most out of it. Let's go back to, let's make some short lines. Oh, you wanna make yourself the direction of the paper. There we go. Let's try to do horizontal without rotation for a bit. Let's get some of this out of our system. That's a line. Good strokes. See, this one seems fine. Seems fine, I say. Let me move around. Finding the right angle on the tablet it helps. It seems to be helping. Like, intuitively, I want to be, like, 90 degree on it, maybe rotate the paper, but physically moving this tablet off to the side at an angle, I don't know. We're testing things out. Like I said earlier, we're playing with stabilization a bit today. I may have been on the internet, on a little bit of Reddit soul searching last night on stabilization after our conversation. And the soul searching typically includes, you know, what is the general opinion of stabilization? And I kind of had my own opinion going into it. Similar opinion I have generally about rulers is I'd like to not use them so that I can, you know, focus on my own smooth line work. You know, like a Goku with weighted clothes. Make it a little harder on ourselves for a better long-term result. But damn if I wasn't the minority opinion. Like, I'm looking through 5 or 6 topics of 40, 50, 60 comments each of people saying stabilization is fine, I use it. They use it, professionals use it. It overcomes the difference between the tablet and paper. I swear 80% of them are like, I crank it up to 100. Yeah, but Goku was a Saiyan to begin with. It's true. It's true. But also he did the weighted clothing and the gravity chamber. So like 95% of the comments, 99% of the comments were like, yeah, I use stabilization. Most of them were like, I max it out. Some people said I use less of it when sketching, more of it when doing line art. I think one to 3 people were like, hey, it's a crutch and it'll slow down your learning. And I was like, I agree with that statement. That's the answer I was looking for. completely downvoted to oblivion, every single one of them. And intuitively, I'm like, but that person's right. Nobody agrees. The sentiment's not there. But I looked at it like, yeah, they get it. They get me. Why? Why maybe look up opinions of things if I'm just not gonna look at the answers I don't like. So now we're at 20 instead of 5. Compromising. Okay. Okay. So, some lines. What I want to do today is kind of just, I would love to put down 100 sketches. Quick, easy things, looking at reference and shape, maybe redraw the same thing. Like I want to put some lines down. Some people take meds to be stabilized. I mean, we're talking about a pin stabilization. I think my almost formed opinion on most topics related to this so far have been they're great tools for final products and quick work. They're gonna help me make things that look good. I believe limiting my use of such tools will help me grow faster. So can you draw those thick and juicy booties you were talking about? I mean, if you didn't see what the thick and Judy, I drew. Do I have it on here still from yesterday? That's about as thick and juicy as it gets right now. And we're talking about Zorro. Hey. Yeah, it's rough. We're having some fun though. You know, I've showed myself that if I really take my time and I spend 3 hours on a sketch and copy from reference and erase and draw, we can do something that we go, oh, this looks great. I could do this. But what I don't have are hundreds of drawings like this that I did from hand, from memorization. They're going places, but I got to put the hours in. I think work like this yesterday is just as important to my growth as all the other stuff I'm doing. And I ignore it because it feels bad to put down. And I can't ignore it. That's what, eating your vegetables. We're eating our vegetables there. Which is, I think, the opposite. When it was first described to me as your art vegetables, it was described to me as like line practice and boxes and 3D shapes and all the fundamentals stuff that I like to practice. This is fine. I'll put lines down all day. This feels good. Can't. That's the rest of the stuff I gotta work on. Alright, so, sketches. We could do this, let's say, fill this page with some gesture pieces from imagination. I don't really have a plan going into this. Alright, we're putting circles down, apparently. Probably start with the gesture line before we do much else, but now we've done it in reverse. We're exploring. How you doing today, Garner? How's life? One thing I didn't say for stabilization, I do tend to turn it down while sketching. But line art, that sucker is cranked at 100. When your line art always looks so good. I'm not one to judge. I feel like we've stumbled onto a feminine pose here, so we're gonna make one wider on the hips. Changes the form a bit. We get about there. No gesture, no pose, very stiff. Haha, cross legs for some reason. Alright, next. We said gestural line, so if we were to do that and get a gesture, a line of action like this, and we did the face kind of in that direction, looking to the side. We've got a stretch over here and a crunch over here, right? So like trying to bean it, do the bean to varying levels of success. Don't know what pose we're quite imagining, but we're working on something. Kind of something foreshortened in the back. Feels more lively, if not stumpy. I think we're missing an amount of height. That's right about there. Better. Maybe not as wide on the shoulders. Maybe something that brings it down more. But next. Try that again. A little bit bigger on the head. Because for what reason? Because we can't stop putting our pen down and doing circles. So let's do that bean again. Oh, that line of action, that's right. So I think this good line gave us something more. So like we had a line there. Again, apparently putting more circles down and more lines is exactly what I needed to make that face readable. Bigger in the hips. And this torso not quite long enough. In fact, it could probably be touching here if we just add more lines. So we can get rid of lines. Now we bring the shoulders in a little more this time. Head's a little off paper, I think. Again, we have I think a hip joint in the back here, out of view, and one like in view. And this is where I was getting this a little longer this time. No idea where this pose comes from. It might not even be physically possible. Get some eraser in here to clear up some of that. I don't necessarily want to be doing that thing I did yesterday where I scribble a bunch and then ink it out with the eraser, but if we need a line that's more... Okay, I guess that's kind of foreshortened. It's coming back. It's not like, you know, out and in. What about here? Just wipe the screen as if I'm getting dust off of it. This is not paper. Okay. So I brought up some Nami references. Let's give ourselves some space and do some of that. Just want to move some of this over. Okay. Let's give ourselves a zoom in and let's look at the reference. Nothing in this pose is evoked by any of these faces. It's just not like I can stamp one of these faces I see on there. But let's try the lines. Let's just put some lines down with the pen tool. It's that part where we're talking about tracing it last night to find the lines. Alright, let's do that. We can do this. 3/4 turn on the face is what we're looking at. Nope, it's over there. I see it. It's off to the side. Alright, so we're going to break this down into shapes and think about it. Rather than, you know, I don't want to just come out here and be like, haha, shape. Get some blue. So the most familiar line when I look at these things always ends up being, you know, this bit right there. Alright, this is the line my eye is first drawn to, for better or worse. And that is, let's take another image. Same shot, different angle. Alright, let's take this. Talk out loud a bit. Because it's the same problem up at the front. Like I have the same problem. That I see that angle, my eyes are drawn to it. I don't know if it's, you know, thing where I should start, right? Am I coming in here and am I doing this circle? Right? And then finding this line. And even the circle's theoretically not even there, right? Like if the little bit we know about the Loomis head, right, it does incorporate the ears too, but also not all anime fits those principles, and if we try to make them fit, that's not even a good head circle. They would be what? I mean, the side of the head. That's just all of the head. Just kind of drawing over it, right? It's the ears a little forward. I mean, I say the ears are a little forward. I'm not putting the spears in the right places. I don't think these proportions line up that way. But maybe I'm just seeing it wrong. I think same thing could be said here. Like, it'd be like that, wouldn't it? Right in there. The chopped off circle. Actually, chopped off circle is like here, right? So many lines. Pick a line. The chopped off circle is like here. Alright, which puts the ear down there, which, you know, theoretically the brow line is the top of the ear, so we can see right there that that's not a thing. Bottom of the ear is the nose. That does happen. That happens here. I don't know. I think we're having... circle really only encapsulates the cranium. You were closer with the first choice. The hair goes on top of it. So you're saying, like, you got to find that cranium line and decide, you know, how thick the hair is. Because I know, and let me try. I don't know. Let me try to frame out what I do know. Alright, and that's too big of a... I don't know, if I was here, looking straight on it, fixing my circle. You know, something like this. Let me get some eraser on the shit marks and try to frame out what how the brain's working. We've got some terrible circles to play with, but my general understanding, right? So it was ear, it's brow line. Oh, let's add some color to this. It's, you know, ear, you know, brow line, eyeball, nose, the bottom here, so mouth. Right, that's my general understanding. When I look at the pictures over here on the left, you know, top of the ears not lining up with the brow. The bottom of the ear is not lining up with the nose. It does kind of over here, less so over here. If we're trying to pick out the cranium circle. You know, very short chin here. Maybe that's the thought. Maybe that's the, you know, as we're breaking this down, maybe this is exactly how I should be thinking through this. This does get cut on the left. The head is flat on the sides. One Piece has never been known for their net. That's true. And I like their more fantastical elements. But you're right. Maybe this is a bad reference to be starting with. And that was, again, the problem with sorting through Pinterest earlier today, trying to find stuff to work with. Draw what you like. I need to build a bigger library, I think. They're probably part of my time, a significant part of a day. Not a significant, but part of my time probably needs to be in that, like, art ingesting. Maybe replace some of my junk food YouTube videos with, you know, sorting through things that and identifying things that I wanted to draw. Art ingesting time. Probably because I want to see if I can undo all the lines on the page. See how good my undo button is. I set it to like 200 or 500 undos. I just want to start with a clean image and then give myself a new layer because I didn't do that before. Let's just go to the pen. Let's just give it a run. So we've got this line. We got that. See if that line. All right, comes down just a bit, and then it does this. That's a huge line. Doesn't need to be that big, and we're off to the racetracks. Not slooped that way. So in my, trash, call it my junk food trash time when I'm looking around Reddit and I'm on well, I guess when I'm just looking around social media, we'll just say social media generally. I keep coming across this thing that people are like, things they avoid. And it was like YouTube art drama, which I think I've seen pieces of. Like in my YouTube, what the algorithm serves me, I don't click any amount of it. Any amount of it's probably the wrong word, but not enough of it to understand what they're saying. But I've seen a trend, and the trend is drama because people are using reference to draw their images. And my pure understanding is that's that a thing? Are people in unart space that may or may not exist? Are they upset that people are looking at other images to draw their images? Should all my art come from this place? Again, I don't hang around in that sphere. So I don't know. But it's popped up multiple times in my, Google search history of, asking art questions. Which, I ask art questions by looking for other people who have asked those art questions. That's the first thing I've noticed. That's more of a circle. It should be more of a circle than an oval. And the second thing I've noticed. Hey, John. Let's see. References to find people are stupid. And that's why I assumed that's my go-to answer. References to find people are stupid. Copying and saying it's your own. Yeah, don't steal. People have issues differentiating the two. First I got the sense that it was a maybe just a young person thing. It just oddly popped up so many times. I figured I'd talk about it. For a second I thought you drew the one left. I was like, damn, that's in progress. No, we have not. We're trying to understand shapes and lines and I would love to be able to. We're studying. So, like, this is giving me problems. But maybe if I break it down into the straight lines and the simple lines, like, I'd get farther. I think, my mouth is huge. The eyes are all in bad places. Like this was supposed to be like this whole line. I thought was gonna be this, and then everything kind of gigantified. But yeah, moved on to digital art. Hey Dez, how you doing, brother? I do like the traditional stuff, and I'm gonna continue to do it. It was a little bit on the camera, but I was going through the art stuff. All the courses pretty heavily. They started getting into like charcoal and all these tools that I kept having to go to the store to buy, and I always kind of wanted to be hybrid. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just stick to the pencil sketching, mechanical pencils. Tip standard regular pencils in sketchbooks on paper. We'll start there, and then we'll start learning these tools. It's been fun. I actually, I mean, digital's fun. I've got a new pad coming tomorrow, and that's exciting. Anyway, so I've been unavailable. Cold snap killed my internet somehow. Wow. The big cold weather, like, slew down the zeros and the ones. Digital art has changed my world. Ooh. What about digital art for you, Des? I'm still navigating the software, learning how to control my pencil, and still learning traditional lessons, right? I'm trying not to do things like this too often. I'm going to do it right now. I'm talking all over the place, by the way. None of this comes from a place of expertise. I'm trying to sort my own ideas and opinions out. But I'm trying to, avoid getting in here with, like, the lasso tool, too much, and shrink, rotate, and then I end up doing it anyway, like this. Like, hey, I think I drew it right, but I think I drew it too big, and now that I'm shrinking it, now I can see it, well, that was too much shrinkage. You're like, I'm analyzing my art. How did I do? Generally. Right, so I can bring it over here and be like, alright, let's line up the eye. Nose is a little long, the eye is a little far away. Yeah, see? Learning. Oh, maybe we're learning. We're definitely learning. We're chit-chatting. Anyway. I used to be traditional art from last century till about 27. Isn't it a fun thing to say? From last century. That's a fun thing. The last millennium. Even. Till about 2017. Really? So you're that new of a swap over. This is a great way to learn too. I just having this conversation with a friend who was really self-critical. Replication is how I learned. In the previous century, I'm more of a traditional guy. But now the new millennium is here. Yeah, we've done some pieces both traditionally and I was saying this earlier, and digitally that felt good. I posted them on the Discord, but they were a lot of look at the image, try to replicate the lines, sketch it out, do the measuring, all the stuff that is important. But I'd like to be able to put down these lines. I feel like I want to be able to put down these lines on my own. So we're experimenting with that a little bit this week. So experimenting, testing, being super critical of ourselves, and not putting enough marks down. Do it again. So again, the thing I see whenever I look at these pictures is always this line and that line. So this line and that line. Let's crank that stabilization up. Let's see what happens. That line, that's two lines. I think this is two distinct lines. I always see it. Oh, there's so much lag between my pen and the mark. We're gonna go back to 20 for now. I started replicating Spawn comics and Marvel trading cards. Oh, interesting. Spawn is a fantastic art style. Like, I'm assuming are there new Spawn comics? Because when I think Spawn, I think the '90s. There's got to be new Spawn comics, right? He didn't die away. Like, the comics didn't end. I love digital because of the freedom and how easy it is to work on things. Layering, that is amazing. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, I concur. Then I can make the mark. Well, I mean, that felt remarkably good. Of a line. Not the stabilization of it, if you will, but I feel like that's a in proportion line. What happens? Nope. Not that line. I need the rectangle. What happens if I move it and like try to shape it over top? Like, are we in the right area? We're getting closer. We're getting closer. Part of me that would finish this would say something like, you know, ear here. That part of me that would finish it. We're gonna run some circles on it real quick. Yeah, we're already like squishing things into the corner. And we even have this like, I say we have this guide, but we didn't put the head anywhere in position. All right, do it again. We don't have to erase it. But damn you, you're going away, lines. Yeah, the really old ones. I haven't seen them since the '90s. Presumably the new comics Spawn in. Ha ha ha. 2013. Wow, time. Is that moment? Did like time just slip away? And you're like, oh man, it's only been a few years since insert date here. It's also about anime and manga artists structured their faces after cats. Big eyes, small mouth. That makes sense. I was definitely, and I'm trying to do some fundamental stuff, right? I do have a huge backlog of courses and things I'm working through that are all like, here are the fundamentals, you know, learn to draw. If you want to learn to draw manga, you learn to draw. But also, some days I just want to sit here and try to doodle out a Nami. Profile like cat's face to anime characters. Some coffee. But yeah, the big goal here. I'm sure I've repeated this, and I tell myself this is me like reinforcing my own idea here. Is we're streaming to try to put in the work, because I feel like I wanted to learn to draw for ages, but I haven't put in the work. And I keep telling myself, I want to learn. But if I want to learn, I need to, well, put in the work. So that's kind of what we're doing here. The line weight is something to consider too. These very thin lines, when they need to be thin, right? And like the top of the eyelashes there are very, thicker. I'm just gonna put everything down so I can see it. And we can maybe bring it up again. Oh, I get just plastered. That is just a thing we did. Okay, so proportions on the bottom part went way far. If we line up the eyes, yeah, we can kind of see where everything gets scrunched in. Alright. And I think it's my fear of getting close to this sideline that does it to me often. Like, having the face structure match the face. Not even that. It's got to come down farther. Alright, we'll go a little better with that. Digital. Even that line, I think, is a little sharp. Let's pick a line, check it. Okay, we're dialing it in. Let's do it again. I guess it's really fun to just sit and doodle. It's a big way to start working on your own style. That is a great idea. Wait, it sits on. Gotta dust it off now and again. The throne of lies. I hope it's a good idea. I just gotta do enough beating myself up along the way. I'm gonna be. It's the hardest thing to do. I'm fighting these two urges where, like, this is gonna help me draw, but also now I'm doing it in front of people, and I already beat myself up enough when something looks bad. So what I don't want this to be is me beating myself up continuously in front of people. I'm trying to reel that in a little bit. An art student friend of mine who went to a really expensive art school mentioned how they had grueling exercises through their courses. They had a book they'd fill with practice work. Something like doing 100 strokes to manually replicate strokes on a page, the most basic things. Would you rather we beat you up for you? I mean, if you dogpile on with me, we could work together to beat myself up. Yeah, I am thinking about it. I am thinking about art school. I'm thinking about going to school. The Army still hasn't. I still haven't used my college benefits from the Army. So they would literally pay for my school and then give me some more money. It sounds like a great excuse to, like, this fall go to, like, University of Iowa or something. One of the biggest things I have seen is we are our own worst critics. We are terrible. We are terrible to ourselves. But you bring up a good point about, like, filling up, 100 strokes to manually replicate the strokes on a page. Doing that repetition is like learning 101. I love learning 101. I love to learn things. Trying to find the right strokes has been, I don't know, maybe, what are the right strokes? Somebody sit over my shoulder and tell me what they are, and I'll repeat them. So I'm thinking, maybe art school at some point. I don't want to go in a complete blank slate. I want to build a minimum of passion. I want to find that addiction to doodling that I know some people have, that I've not quite gotten. Doodling for doodling's sake. I'm envious of that. Instead, I spill my idle time with idle games. Which yesterday I had to find a new one because I'd beaten my last ones. Alright. Let me fill a sketchbook with bad art. I would love to fill a sketchbook. I wouldn't say bad art, but let's fill it with learning. Fill it with things I've put time and energy and effort into, and not just, these scribbles. I think that's kind of what I'm hoping this is. Okay, I think the pen's a little big, and it's leading me to maybe do these things. I could, like, we're on the proportions, on kind of where things are. We're getting closer. Let me get that lasso tool, because I think it's just Like it like that. Bring that down a bit, and then this ear was massive for the art style. All right, and then if we compare it again. Yeah, it's around that journal area. We're gonna keep going. Hey, Junior March. Hello, hello. Thank you. Yeah, finding a new addiction is great. Fingers will happily help you with your strokes. But let's see. Oh yeah, doing this live is actually brave of you and something I'm really timid about myself. It's something I've wanted to do because I know I can stick to a schedule on a stream. And I think I've even had this conversation with Okar a few times. This was one of my ideas for some time now, but it's nerve-wracking. Some days I wish I took the art school path too. I wonder how that would have changed things, if I'd be a starving artist or not. The struggle of real games are so addictive and fun, especially when playing with friends and family. I'm working to try and art more and game less. I wouldn't mind, combining the hobbies. Those people who like draw their game journeys. They'll go out there and they'll draw their Pokemon team. I don't know why we're still on this. Alright, let's do it again. Let's do a smaller brush this time. What am I on, a 5? Let's go to a 4. Symmetrical structures like both dyes are tough to really make it look good. I picked up Icarus and it's got its claws. I mean, I've seen you load up Icarus a few times. I've had to look it up to see what it was. I have to assume if I ask the question, is it any good? The answer is yes. I think this area here, I made it a little too big, so we're gonna go with a larger face. And what I'm seeing. So this is that curve right there. So I'm seeing 2 lines. I guess I'm seeing 3 lines. That back curve, I'm seeing 3 lines. Let's break this down at the top of this line before the hair starts to get involved. We've got the eye, but the eye itself, the nose, what do we have, like a vertical, cuts that in the middle, so right about here to there. All right. And then a lighter line, not even halfway down. Alright, so the nose, I mean, I can see this is Nightmare Fuel. We're doing it again, but I can't see the lines as well. Do that now, come back to the pencil. This comes down, but this comes over. Starts kind of in the middle of the nose. It's nowhere near that close to the chin, so maybe it's just smaller. Maybe it's a size and a proportion issue of all the stuff I'm doing. Feels like we could smooth this out and bring none of that up. There's a line here somewhere. And then, like here-ish? A little thicker, some brows, pop, pop, circle, circle, circle. Nightmare Fuel! Alright. Let's keep it up. Don't compare it to the main sketch. You have to find your own style. Yes, I'm working on fan arts. Palworld is our addiction at the moment. Got lots of ideas for that. Just have to, stop gaming long enough to put them down. Yeah, it's fair. Palworld's incredibly addicting. Really enjoyed it. We went back with the new update. Me and Brandy have been playing through it. We put it down for a couple weeks now. I don't know if we'll end up back on it or not. Now that I say it out loud. Icarus kind of like Ark. Icarus is like if Ark had about 80% less jank and was based around limited time missions instead of a single persistent world. Yeah, nice. Yeah, the anatomy of art having a great idea really helps. Guidelines will help a lot too. Yeah, I thought about doing the. So we did. So I guess if we go back, let me see if I can find some stuff. We'll talk out loud, but where we've been on the journey, was it day 8? It would have been day 8. There it is. So like when I start throwing down guidelines and I start sketching and I start finding things, we get something. We get somewhere. This took about 3 hours. And everything here is by hand except for the circle and the border. We used line tools for all that. I'm really proud of this one. I think this one looks good. And there's some stuff in the notebook that, I can't as easily pull up. And I guess what I'm thinking and what I'm hoping is I'd rather be able to throw down the sketch of something like this faster and from imagination. I'd love to be able to just doodle it out. But my own style right now exists in a way like, all right, I don't know where I want things or where things are going to be, right? We're just kind of throwing stuff down. So we're trying to learn that. We're trying to figure it out. So when we say, like, find your own style, I don't know how to put a face down comfortably. Let me find my own style when I can put a face down. I'm going to copy everybody's style, and my own style will come when it comes. If I have a reference, and I take 3 hours, and anyway, it was 3 hours. If I go through the line work, I think it's all on here. Like, we pieced this together, bit by, that's when we're on the boxes, bit by bit with the lines. Where are the lines? I may have deleted them. Yeah, you can see guidelines, here. Threw it down in a rough sketch using those guidelines, started inking it all, and threw on the bubble. 1,100 hours on Palworld. Wow. We just have a small circle, 3 of us. And I'm assuming it's the same world from day one. That's super nice to have. Ours, I don't know if you were there when we had a big server for a bit. It bugged out and fell apart and we lost save files. And so I've played through it now a handful of times. When you draw the chin, it looks very relaxed. Once you start to draw those lines all the time, it becomes natural. Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm hoping to do here, Genuine Art, is just draw a bunch of lines. Draw them all the time. Yeah, sorry, you're not seeing me work on a piece here. You're seeing me just kind of figuring things out. That's all we're doing. I actually see more of a flat line there. Right. Let's come down here. See, this always feels more... Let's put some red lines on this. Like the straight on, the symmetry of it. Nope, that's not red. I need to go red. Alright, so the symmetry of it feels like this. Now as I draw those, I can see the... I don't know if that's helping, because it's symmetrical, right? It's symmetrical, but my lines aren't symmetrical. There we go. I don't know. I always get these angles wrong freehand. And of course, they feel stiff, and we're gonna spend some time on them. Let's see, right here, this angle is not that angle. I'm gonna just move the stroke and the pen kind of in those ways. Just kind of like come over it and then redraw it over here. Ah, big eyes, huge eyes, not that big. Let's bring him in some. See, I see the circles, and I imagine I need more room for the circles, but that feels better. That feels better already. Nightmare fuel, still, but nightmare fuel, but we're getting there. Let's erase some thickness on some of this. Bring it in. It is the hair. Is the hair what makes it, what brings it together? Let's see, real quick. Let's see where we lined up any proportion issues. So a little wide, which kind of sets the whole of it off to the side. If I were to pinch it in like this, so kind of width is our problem, one of our problems. So many styles. Yeah, we were having that conversation earlier about being a lot of styles, because I wanted to sit down and look at some faces, and I wanted to do this with them. I'm trying to find, you know, the right set of faces. You know, we ended up with some official art stuff, right? We found ourselves character references from the official source material, because what I didn't want to do was find, you know, fan art and work from there. At least if I'm going to use a reference, I kind of want to use a source. Let's see, I'm trying to work on my own style for webcomic. Figuring out a style for faces is a huge thing. You're good. Breaking down. Oh, I don't want to give too many tips. I don't want to come off as a know-it-all. I'll tell you, tip away, give all the advice you can. I'm getting better at filtering advice I want to take and don't want to take, but I don't have a lot of you know, feedback is good. I don't have a lot of sources for feedback. This is kind of it. So if you got it, I'll take it, and I'll, you know, just please don't be offended if I disagree or choose to ignore it for now. It's a problem. I also don't know enough to know which advice is good advice or not. So I gotta take it in. I gotta process it. I've gotta decide for myself whether it works for me. And I could be wrong, and I'm often going to be. What you're hearing often is my understanding of things, and not an expert, right? You can clearly see. Yep, I did some art for Uncommon years back, and I've been trying to really get back into it. The daily thing, writing a book that I want to turn to a webcomic eventually. You know, webcomic is we're stalling instead of putting pen to the tablet, but doing webcomics is what initially got me into drawing. I wanted to do a webcomic. It was back in the early 2000s, and webcomics were all the rage for me. But I think I've said it a few times. You know, I picked it up, tried to learn, put it down, never put the time and energy into it that I needed to actually get better. And that's kind of what we're doing here. Working with this group of friends to make art for a channel is something that still makes me happy today. I think I have all of those pieces from everybody that drew for us tucked away. I look at them from time to time. I've heard a lot of people making webcomics. My boyfriend loves reading those. I mean, when you find one that clicks with you, there's so many. I haven't looked in more than a decade at what's out there anymore. Don't let me talk about webcomics. Yep, Penny Arcade was one of my original webcomics. I do agree with these references. I do agree with these references because I came up not using them, and I can say it's my main flaw. You know, one of the big things I've been joining the social media platform Blue Sky and added nothing but art channels. I've seen a lot of people talk about Blue Sky, and I'm trying to find the right social media channels to find inspiration. I was pointed to Pinterest and Tumblr early on. I looked at Tumblr today for the first time, and the amount of porn in just my basic searches, it's wild. I don't know. It was a lot. All right, we're gonna sit up a bit. Tumblr is meh. It's the first time I'd heard it suggested, and when I saw it suggested, it was suggested in a thread on Reddit, because that's where when you Google something and you have like I want to find somebody asking a question, because I have a question, and I don't want to ask the question, but I want to find somebody else who's already asked it and see what the answers were. Reddit, that's my source, and I would love a better one, but that's where people talk about things. But anyway, it was Tumblr. They mentioned Tumblr a bit, and so I went and I peeked today trying to find stuff to draw. We could just make new layers and not erase them. All right, let's pull some other stuff up. What it doesn't allow, or what's physically there, is probably different, but I think I remember that being a thing. Like they banned it, and that was like the death of Tumblr. Just gonna pull up some more stuff. Let's do an art of somebody else. Let's pull up a different bit. Yeah, there's some like Bleach stuff out there. Bleach is pretty good. Pretty good stuff, just different enough. I just have a folder right now. My only 4 references are official art references for One Piece and Bleach and Naruto and Dragon Ball and who was this? I'm gonna get my name straight. I was gonna say iShield 21, but it's also My Hero, or maybe not. Anyway, I'm just off on my side on it. This is great content. I am aware. But I think Bleach and One Piece were the only ones I found official like reference sketch stuff for that weren't fully rendered paintings. He's got some nice backgrounds here. Alright, let's have some fun with this one. Just gonna take a copy. We're gonna just hide everything we're currently on. We don't have to drag this bad boy around too much. Make a new layer, and let's look at these. Completely wildly different, right? We're now suddenly changing styles. Oh, man. I did just finish Bleach, like a couple months ago. When they started doing the anime again, I realized I'd only ever watched the anime, so I read through it, start to finish, and got to the end. It gets nutty. It gets wild. He's got all the powers. That's the best I could say about Bleach. Ichigo has everything. I know cleaning supplies don't make for interesting art. Oh yeah, it's amazing how frequently references are used even by the masters. I've been thinking about making structures in Blender, then take as a base in art later. You know, when I was doing boxes, I did open up my Godot, my game dev stuff, and I just put a cube in space, and I was able to rotate it, and that was a super helpful thing for me. All right, what are we doing here? I mean, this one's different, right? We've got these lines, probably somewhere in here if we're doing the cranium. We were talking about, you know, where a Loomis head would be in these situations. And I think Bleach is a little more anatomically consistent. Right? The ears and the brow seem to line up in all the places. bottom of the ear and the bottom of the nose line up. Right. I guess I can draw a line between any 2 points. It doesn't mean that that's correct, but you know. Oop. I'm just getting better at hands. Been drawing for about 17 years. That's awesome, Genuine. I've been drawing for months, weeks. I always say like asterisks. I've been drawing for weeks. That might be the first time I've said it. I don't know why, which I always have said. I just have a handful of failed art starts. I've been trying to get into it for about the same amount of time, but this is the most consistent I've been. Alright. We were doing a 3/4 face before. Do we have a good 3/4 face here? That we can kind of like... Not really. I mean, I think this one might be the best. We rotate that around easily, or is that going to be like a pain? Oh, here it is. Flip. Just do the same side, do the same angle. Alright, so I mean, we still have that same... It feels like the same idea to me, but like this shape still feels like the last shape. That's not the cranium, right? We want to go... This would go like that, I think. But these lines... How hard are they? See, the chin comes out just a bit. Our ear's massive. Let's bring that down. Draw what we see, not what we feel, I think was the problem there. Which is easy to say, because that's feels like that's always the problem. That's a, you know, good thing to recognize, but I've got to overcome it. We've got the eye kind of tucked away up here. I mean, not quite, but I think we've got some problems with the jaw. If we bring it out some, does that help? It does still come up here. This is the... I'm making those lines up because I can't see them. The eye is a little big on that side, and it comes up more. Let's get the structure of the ear down better. And then we'll just do a comparison on the lines and the angles. We might have been more correct with the first angle of the jaw, but we drew too big, and this thing would be like, is it shift, right? Nope. It's control if I want to just drag down that. Oh wow, significant squishing. And then, I mean, not something I want to use to do my art with, but like consistently. But we can see that it was too tall and too wide. Even before we start squishing it, if we just did it in proportion, like I don't think we come to that portion, right? But as soon as I start squeezing it to the right, I realized just the jaw. It looks like it was just a size and jaw issue. Alright, let's just move you to the side. There's a hotkey for that, right? Like, once I've selected something, I keep hitting this scale rotate button to move it around. But there's gotta be a button, a hotkey for that. Let's see. Yeah, excuse me. We're definitely reading between art bits there, so we're not stalling too much. One thing's funny to me how strange the human head is until you start putting hair and stuff on. The ratio of your area and our eyes and mouth would be fun. Oh, especially we were talking like when it's a bald head and you have no hair, the cranium feels huge. The back of the head is a whoop. It's like overhanging the neck region right back here. I work doing education modules for medical field, and we did a big project on anatomy of the human body. It's so strange. You have a YouTube? I'd like to check out your stuff. Oh, in comment, should I put my Blue Sky link? Yeah, any links you want, man. I'm not on too many other things. I haven't created a Blue Sky account, but I'm hearing about it so much that I think I have to see what's happening. Then again, I wasn't a big Twitter user either, but if it's where all the stuff's being posted, then maybe I can follow the right art channels. I'm not on too many other things, but you can find like 500 artists I'm following to get a really good list. Oh, good. Yeah, if there's a pre-curated list of things to follow, that sounds awesome. Playtime, I'm on YouTube mostly with all my old gaming videos, but mostly on Blue Sky. So done. And that's one of the things that you're getting. Learning 101 feels like my wheelhouse. Like, I can talk things you need to do to learn any task. And we're kind of applying that here. One of the things is community. Finding a community and people to spend your time around that will help you achieve those goals, right? So, like, an art space is one of the things I'm looking for. If Blue Sky turns out to be the best current resource, awesome. Would love to see it. Like StarCraft, right? A lot of my friends originated from there because I found myself wanting to learn StarCraft, wanting to be better at it, surrounded myself with those people, and it worked. But finding like an art community, that feels tough. Everyone I found is like 100,000 people, 10,000 people, and you know, it's just a bunch of people posting their stuff, and it feels like too much. That's like a Google image search for me more than it is a community to interact with. So I don't know. I'm in strange waters. I also maintain that Blue Sky should be pronounced in such a way that it rhymes with brewski. Blueski? I could see. Yeah, some of those can get intense. And I'm in the discourse for all like the major classes and stuff that I've kind of subscribed my time to. And we don't do a lot of that here because I'm I can't really watch copyrighted material classes that people are selling, or even the ones that are free, like just here at stream. But that is all my off-stream time. Is mostly the classes. You know, doing Drawbox, doing New Masters Academy, doing some Proco, doing some Mark Brunette stuff. Is that my big four? I think that's my big four. And for the most part, it's been trying to find the right stuff for me as I bounced around to all these different sources. And what I've ended up finding out was all of them are teaching the same things in just a slightly different way that's helping it click. So now I feel like I'm invested 4 different art programs. But even their individual discords get intense. This guy's a lot of casual fun because it's just like as you feel like time. With this one, there's art shares where you can just share your stuff or see groups and other artists putting their best foot forward. Great way to find new peeps fall. Genuine Arts, gotta go. Keep up the good work. Keep practicing on the chin lines. I promise to become a natural thing when you start drawing. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, have a good one. Thank you for hanging out. Chin lines. I didn't realize I'd be doing chin lines when I started this, but you're right. That's what we've done. I was hoping kind of the whole face. Maybe just eyes. That's another thing we could always work on. It's just another eye. I said that the other day. Like I should work on eyes. But I don't know. I do feel like I'm spinning my wheels. Jumping between these two styles, these two vastly different chins, but also like I've put down like 8 faces. Not doing that. It's just problems like, oh, I want to spend my time. I don't want to waste my time. Just trying to find the right way to do it. Yeah, getting a schedule is something I'm struggling with versus game addictions, but I know I need it. Game addictions, though. Games are fun. I mean, I should play more meaningful games rather than the idle things I really have found myself getting into, but I don't blame you. Other than Power World and or Icarus, the two of you, any other big things? Would love to know if there's anything out there I'm missing. Kind of waiting for Monster Hunter Wilds. That's my next gaming addiction. If I'm thinking about that, I think the thing I need to connect with the most here and get down isn't necessarily the chin, because you know we can draw. This is my basic terrible chin. I could do this all day. I think it's placing the face on it that I'm struggling with the most. In any perspective, right? Like getting this shape down and then putting I think is fair enough, and the chin can be a little deformed, but getting the face right in the right places, is that the challenge? Maybe that's the challenge, right? We're just, aha, this is also probably tinier. We're bringing it in, give it a little chin this time. We did this yesterday where we kept erasing until we found the right angles, until we found the right lines. And we got like the proper ear here, and then we can just like pull out the parts of it that don't make sense and then put it back in. Shaving it each step. And then like all the scratching lines are like cheating for me, because your eye fills in all the mistakes. then I maybe scratch on those. And I think what we've done here, we can kind of see it, and we've been doing it a bit. We're just kind of finding all the right places over time. And I found this process to be fun yesterday. The shaving off the lines. Trying to find where it is. Now we probably should be doing the Ichigo reference for this. Maybe not crazy eyeballs. And we're getting something. Power World, V Rising, and a little bit of Path of Exile 2. I put a bunch of time into Path of Exile 2 on launch. I say a bunch of time. What is the actual number? I did really enjoy it. I played through the campaign essentially twice. Not on purpose, as it turns out. Yeah, 103 hours. I played through it the first time, and it turns out, like, my character felt bad. And it was apparently the worst of the characters. So I remade another character, and we went all the way through it again. And it felt better, and I went farther. Some kids raving about the new Doom. I've seen pictures, or I've seen short bits of it. It does look really good. Then again, I think they really knocked it out of the park with, like, Doom 2016 and beyond. Like, every Doom game they've put out has been... It feels good. It feels like a mix of arcade and classic Doom. You know, monsters, demons go boom. Points go up, right? It felt good. Dwarf Fortress got a big update. I saw they have an adventure update I've been meaning to check out. My Dwarf Fortress hours are only about 10 or so. And it's a really big game. Intimidating even. Yeah, placing the face on the frame of the head is a big struggle. Oh god, yeah, it is. But yeah, I do think what we scribbled out there is fine. It was certainly a challenge when the gods made Graham Linehand. I try to visualize a grid for guidelines for the face. Still working on visualizing that myself. Yeah, going from a sketch to clean line faces is something quite revealing. Shaving lines reminds me of working with clay or stone. Steps closer to perfection. Dude, aren't ads. Yeah, sorry to hear that. We're gonna take those ads and use the bathroom. BRB. Make more coffee, probably. No, I think we're done coffee. Oh, for me, he left right after the ads ended. Fair. It times out that way. It keeps the pre-roll ads away though. So thank you for your understanding. Here we go. So what we're saying, shaving lines reminds you of working with clay. You know, it was this thing where Okar was like, hey, did you know if you press C, you use the same tool, but, the clear version, or kind of the eraser version. And it worked, it helps. I'm gonna try this thing with the actual reference now. I was just kind of doodling over here. So if we're gonna say what my own style is right now, this is about where we're at. If we're gonna do the Ichigo again, let's give ourselves some room. Again, there's got to be a button for that. Let's just get it out of the way. Alright, I think we also want to zoom in a bit. We're probably working a little small, but see, yeah, the lines themselves a little fainter. Oh, and let's do... Oops. That's alright, we've got, we can erase this. We've got a whole picture over there, and we can grab a fresh image, get the lines off of it. There are easier ways to do it than an eraser tool, but that was cathartic. Felt good. Alright. Lasso this thing. Let's bring it out. Pull it over. Oh. Oh, I think I know what happened. Deconstruct, cancel. There's just a duplicated image over top of that. Let's get this layer. Let's re-select it. Layers. I know what they are. Knowing which one they are is the problem. X. Nope. Copy. Cancel. Copy, paste. Transform. Did we do it? We did it. Alright. So many layers. Let's start, I don't know, I'd say clean them up, but start throwing new ones down. That one good? Cool. We got a project. We got some work. So we give ourselves a little more zoom. See what happens. We'll even sketch it this way so our brain doesn't get too focused on the specifics. Okay, I should be getting pencil. It's not because it's clear. Okay, here we go. So we get this line. That line comes up just a bit. It is at like this angle. It does come in a bit. The length of this line here is about the length of that if we exclude the chin. So can I find those pieces and get the right lengths? Okay, let's go ahead and clean up some of the scratches. I think we're still a little shallow. Let's see if that helps. Okay. Now the chin itself might be a slightly bit different angle. We get this slight curve in here. Slight curve here. Alright, let's start with the mouth, right about. It runs all the way over. And again, we're doing this new loose sketching thing until we find the right lines. Because this is that line. We went a little bigger. Let's see. This actually comes out from the edge of the mouth almost to the contour of the face, and then comes up here. Makes for an eye. And that's kind of its own shape. Oh, what did I... Swapped over to the alternate color somehow. White, not clear. This is more flat. And this is just outside the contour of the face. Slightly wider. Comes to... Yeah, that feels right-ish. Now I think we clean this up better. That left eye feels good. Everything over on the right feels rough. Now it's just about a flat line. It is at the level of this bit there. So like right here. Now let's get rid of enough lines so I can see the actual line. Yeah, it's right about there. If we clear the inside, clear the underside, let's give ourselves some of the lines. Try to find the right line. What we are missing a little bit is this here. And then we get the kind of a circle. We're getting closer. That's not bad. We've got more line here. We can probably come back down here now that we have more frame of reference and get a better mouth on this thing. I think more here. Something. Oh man, getting comfortable with layers is a thing. So many times I realized I was working on the wrong layer. That's why you gotta have like 500 undo attempts, right? I've been trying to make a habit of locking sketch reference layers just to help me prevent from messing up. Oh man, I just had to play the Bad Daddy file we had 4 years back. Oh no. Oh, that was good. That was fun. We had a lot of fun back then. Oh. I'm gonna have to... I know that's sitting somewhere on my computer. I'll have to check it out later. I think we're seeing things we can clean up. I mean, I don't know if the chin gets cleaned up that much, but... You know, it definitely feels off. Like the eyes, I can see. Let's do that thing. Let's do the thing where we take a look. Let's learn where we went wrong. And I'm only shrinking it in proportion right now. Let's see if we can get the jaw line kind of the same. All right, so we did the thing again where we're a little tall. All right, if we want to be the eyes, bring the eyes down to the chin. I'm gonna make this opaque a bit. No, I don't want to apply the transformation yet. Big areas then. Big. What are the big shapes we got wrong? The eyes are just about right. The nose is not quite out enough. The mouth is not quite in enough. The jawline. So we would do like. Nope. We need a pencil. And bring this out here more. Bring this up more. This out more. Now I can't really even see it that well. So let's put that on. Let's put that on actual black. Let's actually draw it out. That's looking more like it fits. I do think this chin had to come out more, and we had to do the, ear again. Oh yeah, we skipped a whole step there too. We didn't do the shape up, which immediately feels right, even if it's not at the right angle. Okay. I don't want to sit on this one bit too long. I want to start redoing it. It's a great way to work on stuff too. I hope so. I plan on spinning my wheels in a similar direction for a few thousand hours. I would hate. I'm glad to hear that this is an okay way to work. It's kind of what I'd love to do instead. Is just be able to go, all right, wrong button. All right, so I'd love to just be like, all right, here's the line. All right, it comes down to there. Here we go. Oh, we can. That line wasn't quite right. We can bring it back. I just want to be able to put it down. How do people do that so well sometimes? They just can. I assume it's practice. Right, like... of course, it doesn't help that I thickened all those lines, but one thing I've noticed in the webcomics of the years is something I want to adapt for myself. Minimal lines, most of the definition comes from color and shading. I think at the moment what I'm into, I think, is like pen and ink, right? Like, kind of like you saw with this work. Like, I like this look myself. Where we do all the we kind of shade out stuff. It's a little sphere here. And the thing I really like personally is the choices on thick versus thin lines that they do sometimes. Like maybe something simple like, the backside of the sphere. Let's try it. Let's try to do it. Let's try to do a circle and talk about it. Circles are easy, right? Let's bump that stabilization up because we told somebody we'd work on that. We'd give it a try. Well, we've got a circle, and then like they would use the thickness of the line and the taper of it, to really tell the story. And the stroke, each pen stroke feels good, or it feels intentional, and then we got this like shading that happens. If we're gonna do like find a light source there and try to do the hatching. I'm making shit up right now. Alright, maybe hatch the other way where it's darker in a shape that gives it dimension. I don't know, you get the point. I like really good inked out stuff, and they're making much more deliberate choices with their lines. I don't know why I'm committing to the circle. Circles. This is how I taught myself some of the most memorable things, too, because I haven't forgotten how it felt when it went well and how smaller it became so obvious to me. Like, yeah, I did a few ink pieces. They're still some of my favorite things, too. Marvel Comics cards, where I learned about minimalistic shading, cross-hatching. That was helpful to practice, too. I've got to say, I think I was saying it earlier. I don't know if you were here, but I've got to start doing my, art homework. I got to start investing in finding things I like. This almost looks like an Akira Toriyama face, like a Dragon Ball. We just Super Saiyan that. Aha. You go away to Racer Hell. But I think I want to do both. I want to do it all. I want to paint a little. I want to do some ink stuff. I want to do backgrounds and structures. I want to be able to tell a story. I want to do a comic. I want to do all the things that come with a comic. The occasional colored in, cover with good inking and black and white on the inside. All the right. You just want to do it all. At least there are things I know I don't have interest in. I don't want to, do, 3D. That's easy. I want to do characters. I want to do the scenery well enough that it doesn't detract from the characters. The color well enough that it doesn't detract from the characters. Derpy Dave, hello. Happy arting indeed. Welcome. By the way, hello those who are new. I'm Uncommon. And I see you there in Genuine Arts. You're also... Wait, is this the same Genuine Arts from the Twitch? We are multi-streaming, which is the thing we're doing now. This is Genuine Arts number 2. Welcome back. Taking a sketch at a time, and we're trying. Yeah, this is kind of what we're into. For those who are new, we're learning. We're putting down art. It's bad. I'm okay with that, as long as I'm arting in a generally good direction. This week we're kind of making ourselves. I say we're drawing from imagination. We've just been staring at references all morning. We were. That was kind of the plan. We're taking some advice about, trying to trace out lines and understand them. We've picked a couple of different pieces. Things are happening. Not gonna dwell. We're gonna draw. What about that eye? What's that, like do an eye? So immediately I want to pick on the big lines, and my brain wants to ignore everything else, right? And just kind of Haha, the eye's done. And I see, like, you know, we get this circle. That circle, the eye lid, the eye general eye shape. It actually feels a lot better when I'm working lightly on this pen. I've been making too many, like, super thick lines, right? I don't even know what, I think this is the brow, right? So this is what we're getting here, is a little bit of brow work. God, yeah, it feels a lot better when you only do one little bit. Now this is, of course, when I put I put the face on it, right? And attaching the face to the shape of the chin. That's a whole nother bit. Let's do that over here without looking. An eye straight on. We should be able to do this, right? Like, without staring at it. That particular eye, right? Just a oval in a circle. A little bit of a brow. Looks more panicked than the other one, right? And they did this, like, circular. It's more panic because it's not being completely enveloped in there. Is it panic because it's beady here, or because it's... Oh, let's find the answer. I guess they both look kind of panicked. I feel like now we could probably just do a bunch of eyes. We got eyes over here, right? Come here, Rukia. So let's run a bleach page right now. Let's move you. Let's not rotate you. I don't know why we're rotating. We're still getting used to all the hotkeys. Some good dynamic poses on that page too. Alright. So, slightly different eyeballs here. What are we seeing? What do I see? I see a pen tool. Alright. See really zoomed out low res pictures, but we see this shape generally there. Big. Yeah, we gotta find. There's gotta be better pictures. This is super low res, or maybe a high res version of that same thing. No, I think that's about as high res as I get. At least for that one picture. Is there more up here? They occasionally have the eyes on some of these references just off to the side. Just gotta find, I guess, any number of them. And that one's fun. We won't even drag things away. They're layered. We'll be fine. Yeah, so in this case, what do we have? Just an egg shape? A new layer before we start. Alright, stabilization was a thing there. This little crescent moon. I've seen a lot of these eyes we've been looking at lately have intricate what do we call that? It's not lens, cornea, ball proportion. There's clearly not a wrong answer here. This is definitely a style. What are we working on here? What is the goal? Proportion? Smooth lines? If we do this, how did we do on our general placement proportion? The eye size was about right. Up until the eyebrow, which was way higher. Like up here. Are we still, we're at pretty high stabilization. Something we're trying to find our own personal preference on. Alright, I mean, it's an unusual eye. Let's practice that thing we keep getting wrong where we try to attach it to a face. Let's get rid of almost all the other layers. Let's make a new one. We've got a pretty simple face here. I think if we can do this one. Oh, I don't want the pencil tool. It's a little scratchier than I'm going for. Alright, we've got this shape we've been messing with a lot today. Alright, let's use this as a marker for where things are. We've got this nose, we've got this. Maybe helps inform the shape better with the mouth in place. I feel like I need an eraser tool, not the pen. The pen was smaller. But it wasn't erasing in the same. Didn't feel like it was. That feels all right. Let's see how everything else places. I see we're a little off, like the mouth, but let's start throwing down. We know it's an egg shape. We can't draw just an oval, right? We gotta see the general shape. We see that it comes up and around. Choosing some lines, but generally we're going for just good face placement right now. I like, yeah, there's some nice, fun, crazy eyeball stuff that I'm not mimicking well. Going to see about food and such. We're joining you a bit. Delighted to see you, by the way. But I'll get to try to get on Twitch more. Cheers, and your Discord. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, Orc for the win. I think. Thanks for hanging out, man. Enjoy your food. especially if I do enough circles. You'll never know that the line works bad. All right, so again, general face shape. What do we see? Like, let's put just a little bit of hair on it to try to see the full shape. Maybe even like get the right angles. And then we'll take it and do a comparison. Again, there is going to be a hotkey. I just don't know what it is yet. All right. How we doing? Actually, for the starter line, the general lines of the head were fine. I feel like let's make that one blue. So when I do this, I can see it better. Okay. All right, we're in a better place. And I think one of my biggest areas of weakness seems to be this space here. Right? I feel like at 3/4 view, I don't cut in over there enough. Like I leave, you know, gaps that maybe shouldn't be there. Like here, the nose should go over and the mouth should go over. And I'm hanging back with them pretty good. I'm gonna use the bathroom. We'll come back. Actually, I should sort out food. I'm gonna take about 10 minutes. We're gonna take about 10 minutes, guys. Go get some food. I think I have leftovers. I might have leftovers. 10 minutes. Come back and we'll start hitting this some more. See you in a bit. Okay, friends. Ooh, I've noticed something while I'm doing this. I may need more of a downward angle on the camera with all this leaning I'm doing. Let's do that. Let's do that live, because that's smart. Is that a little better? Almost. I mean, a little too much. Live. That feels better. Cool, 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 cool. Okay. Hello and welcome back. There we go. What are we doing? Doodling. One sketch at a time. One sketch at a time. This one. This sketch at a time. Wee. Ooh, I've been doing... I think I've been doing the wrong grip all day. That's not that interesting of a story, but I hold my pencil wrong. I have my whole life. And if I do it for long sessions of drawing, it starts to hurt my hand because I put my thumb under there for some unknown reason. So, get a good tripod grip has been one of the things I'm trying to fix. Yeah, let's do it in red. Why not? Let's go back to black. Need to be able to put it on top of the surface. I think we have that just fine. Like, it is definitely this line, right? We're good here. It's the placing the face on in a believable way. So let's go hard the other way. Let's try to get it like into this line. Let's let it consume this line. I think a little more up. We're gonna hide some of our lines and sketches. That's fine. Now that not that rounded, I'm immediately seeing it's more of a... Ooh, I did not... What happened to that line? Like it felt like my pen wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. It's a very small oval. And it's highlighted, of course, by this long brow. This line. We've got this little nostril, little circle over here. Alright, now we did this line that, you know, we could extend forever, but there's an actual size to it. I want to eyeball it to say about there. I'm almost not as concerned about accuracy to the design of the face as much as I care right now about, am I placing eyes on the face in the right spots, and you know, does it make sense? And we have this like line here and this line kind of down here, comes up and around this face like such. Center line more there. Wow, that was a wicked looking line. Alright, then maybe some more curve out here than we've given ourselves in a straight line fashion. And I think more there. Alright, we're about to check our work. just give ourselves a better, mildly thicker eraser. And confidently mark the lines we're choosing. Alright. There's some squishing happening, especially over here. Maybe that's thicker and thinner. Take out some of the inside lines. So we're choosing the right ones. We're choosing a line at least. And do a comparison. Alright, we're going to look it up right now. Shortcut for selecting and moving. Clip Studio Paint, hotkey, select and move. Because the select part I've got, that's M. See, this is saying control, but also saying V. So let's give them both a run. So I've got the selected area, hold control, and we're still selecting. V, still selecting. How to select and move in Clip Studio Paint. Let's watch, I guess, this video.
A couple tools that'll specifically let us move and control our layers. Let's check them out.
I don't want to move the space bar moves. Okay, that's not the right one.
Put some ink down, and
the space bar will move the whole page. The view.
So you can see the difference. Okay.
Did you do 2 layers on that?
Come
You did.
Here to this move layer tool and click on that.
I mean,
and what this is going to let us
move
do
layer
is
tool?
basically move the layer that we have selected. So let's try it with the green.
That's pretty good. Okay, we can start doing that.
I click down, and it'll let me just drag this around. It's kind of useful if I want the pink. Click the pink. If I want them both at the same time.
So if I do a new layer for each one of these drawings, it'll be really easy to move them back and forth.
Selecting them both by holding down the control key, and then.
Now, does that mean? Now, that's the whole layer. Is there any other tool in there? Move tone pattern, move grid.
I can always select a bunch of layers if I.
Okay, that's not exactly what I wanted. It does solve some problems. I'm going to bring up the whole list of shortcuts now on the page, apparently. Keyboard shortcut guides for artists. Oh, I thought this was... Oh, it's clipstudio.net. Okay, so. Zoom in. Let's go ahead and search the page for move. I know the drag to canvas. Okay. It's just telling me how to change it, and then it's only giving me like a couple of tips. Eyedropper, fill, pencil, duplicate, free transform, Control T. Okay, let's try that. Not there. There we go. Okay, Control T. Not just T. Cancel. T. T is text. Control T. Gives us the transform. Okay, cool. We got it. Not that I like it. I wouldn't mind reprogramming that to just T. Maybe we'll use K. So what did we do? Let's not transform. Oh, that's free transform. I want to transform right now in proportion. Alright, so what did we do this time? I think same thing we did last time, where we went too tall. We did overcome a bit of our fear of like being too close to the mouth. But we did not... Oh, we went wide on this particular character. So, let's try that again. 100 drawings or something. Any text message, anything crazy? No. So. It doesn't matter if we sketch it out. This is theoretically a sketch layer we'd be doing this on. We get real close to the edge. Alright, let's not be afraid of the edge of the face. It's interesting that stabilization tool doesn't like small, wide. Gotta get rid of pinch. The shortcuts on the pen. Anyway, so now we want to be shorter. That's a thicker line. We've got thicker brow over here, and now this also feels like, as opposed to other drawings, like we're really far away like this direction. That's something to think through. But we're not necessarily trying to get good. I keep saying this character. This is Kenpachi's sword. Spoilers. Oops. First pose is his lieutenant. That might be like non-anime spoiler. Like, I don't know if that's, maybe it's in the new anime, but the manga itself cut off at some point. I know at the Aizen fight. I know at what point. We got this nice shading. Yeah, see that stabilization. I'm going really far. We can see that 70 is causing me actual problems. So let's go back to 35. Let's cut it in half. We're playing with stabilization today too. It's doing it again, so I want to be able to color that in better. So maybe sketching down to, let's cut that in half again, so 17. It feels a little better. Oh, what did I do? Okay, anyway. Not the lines we really wanted. We just kind of wanted to line this up and see where see what it looked like. It's probably more, it's actually more out here. And we are way off base with this. This is kind of wild, I think, how. Let's try to find it. Let's try to find the right lines. And we're going to do a comparison quick, because I think this is going to switch direction. Oh, yeah, no, we're going to find this. This line feels wrong. Like, is that? It's definitely, like, flatter there. Alright, let's stop screwing around so much and see where we went. See where we actually landed. So the line of the chin was fine at first. The eyes are a little small, but they're generally in the right places on the face, but better than they were before. Let's not kid myself. In fact, the first bit of hair that I had down here was better than the second bit. But why does the face feels squished a bit? And maybe it's the lines here. It was this line. We nailed it there. It was not this line for the hair. I was actually here. Kind of. And it's, I feel like it's just more rounded. And we unrounded it somehow. And then we just kept doing darker and darker lines. Alright, moving on. Let's get practice with this moving tool. Okay, deselect everything. Come on back down. Let's try side profile. Straight front on, front on. Let's do front on. Ba ba ba. Copy paste. Control T. Hit that layer. Apply the transform. Make that a blue layer. And let's work. So what do we see here? Nope. New layer. On a new layer in black. I mean, we don't see a lot of the face where the hair covers it up. We get this kind of line for the hair. Right. Skin and neck. Hair comes out. No ears showing. We get, you know, big rounded eyes. We're just going to trace around the whole thing quickly. Let's see what we can, like, piece together. And we're doing, you know, wildly different shapes, wildly different faces and styles. I'm hoping it comes together with the general knowledge and not just a how to draw Ichigo Kurosaki or, you know, Luffy, which has been my go-to for a few days, weeks. See, that feels wildly out of proportion already, and all we did was draw. Alright, chill out. That's me talking to me. Just put it down, see what it feels like, make our corrections. Generally align. Generally, they've got the little cheeks here. Got a nose. Eyes. You know, curve. Nope, let's do that as we actually see it, not how we feel like it. We'll put this down quick. I wonder, can we get like the impression of the whole thing with a quick sketch, like, and then come in later with the details? I'm gonna cover up some of this with this. Not too many lines. Let's not get overzealous here. One line that goes to here, and one for here. Maybe extend it a bit and then come down to get to like there, and then kind of that frames the face. Alright, how bad we doing? Let's get the proportions, or about the size right. I'm going to base this off of the chin and the side of the head. The right side seems closer. It is a lot about the angle here. The eyes feel a little tall, the rest of the face is a little tall. Cool. So, do it again. Do it again. Let's again come back over here. Practice the strokes. I mean, I'd be okay if the line looked like this. We'd be getting the general shape of it. Maybe this is what we do, right? Just kind of trace over this line until we have the perfect shape. So perfect, don't y'all see it? Okay, again, mouth is like a little big. We get a nose, a little circular Pikachu style cheeks. Already feels like we need to come in more or over more. Big old eyes, just right there, y'all. Just kind of, whoa, what are we seeing? Okay, what are we seeing? Kind of the hair comes down there and we get a little bit of space. Now, some of this I definitely understand. I'm probably putting the cart before the horse here. There's a lot of other things I could be working on, but I do a lot of that too. Oh, jeez. I mean, I don't think if we put the circles in and the moons in and the eyes, we really come up with anything better there. Ooh, very derpy. But proportionally, we're probably wide. Not as far off on the chin as I'd maybe. Let's do a good. Okay, so the angles are a little off. Of course, the eyeballs got thrown on there and are generally, you know, they're touching where the eyeballs are. All right, could use some. I say you could use some work, but you gotta like lean in. I gotta focus on the right of it. So let's do some more lines like this. If I wanted to make that line, you know, this is how I would do it. Maybe not with that grip. Maybe with the whole arm rather than just the wrist. Maybe if I move it and rotate it. Maybe not the rotation. Alright. Do it again. Alright, stabilization to 20. Let's be a little scratchy here. Just gonna put down thick lines. Thick lines. egg-shaped eyes in this case. Oof. Lines. I don't know why the pencil just got... I think I know why the pencil feels like it's suddenly harder to use. Then it's the grip. If I go back to my thumb-killing grip, probably in a better place with this line. I don't think the little moon shape doesn't quite touch the outside of the eye there. I think we could do smoother lines over here. Alright. That feels better. We're gonna move on to another shape, I think. Another face, but... Alright, a little wide. A little, you know, off at this angle. The eyes, you can see, kind of raised on the right side, and the inside here should be in. If we come in here and do that, just eyeball it and see. I assume that makes us... I can already see it in the picture just about. Let's round out kind of this line. Soften up the edges here. Finish this line up here. And I bet when we throw that back on there, it feels a lot better. Wow. That is progress. Progress feels good. It's a thing that sometimes happens. No, I won't lie, we definitely, you know, drag that eyeball into place after, you know, holding it up to the other drawing. But it happens. What have we gotten with this one? Some progress. Alright, let's keep it up. Let's find a completely different style. A completely different artist. See if we can't find the same thing. Just kind of, you know, hey, different head, different style. Let's broaden it a bit. I see a couple of good examples. The portions of an adult head. There's a lot of hair framing the face. Lady Tsunade. Copy the image. Let's pop you down. Let's go ahead and get rid of all the lines. Pick a head. We did these. We were doing these same quarter turn then straight on, so I kind of want to stay there. We can take them and move them over. Transform. There we go. Okay, that. I think we can just about erase a lot of this. Clear separation between the two. Select them again. Moving. We're getting used to moving and shuffling things around in Clip Studio. Feeling a little better. All right. New layer. And let's look at it. Mildly different. I mean, wildly different, right? Because this was a childlike face. In the last one, or I guess a child face. I guess childlike's fine. It's art. It's always something like. Anyway. Honestly, not a lot of. The fact there's so much hair here makes it. I don't know. Is this harder? Work at 100%. Reset the zoom. Like. Start up here. Let's start with our mildly thick line. Let's put it in red. We've got this line, that line, there's a chin, it comes back, right? If I'm simplifying this, it's a line, and a line. There's the hair. We get a nose, get the mouth. Let's simplify the eyes a little more, with a little more complexity. So I'm gonna draw those over and over. All right. Center line is like right there. I guess we have a better visual there. We don't need to lie about it. We can't get this wrong, right? It's like here. Okay, let's leave those up. You can erase them in a minute, and let's do that same simplification. Let's try to get the lines of the things about right. Smaller eraser. There's a gap. A curve that doesn't go higher than another line. We got some tightening up to do, but generally these are the marks. They're just not in the right place. If I was gonna say what was wrong with them right now, it wouldn't be that one. Maybe this one? Let's go ahead and shave down some lines. Let's do a little exercise first. And see if we can't find it ourselves and then come back to it. So first one I think I see is this line here. And then this line's mostly fine. Nope. Gotta be, I'm too afraid to draw the line right up to the face, but that is the line. Maybe that one. Alright. I'm gonna do a lineup. Or am I wrong? like we did before, the nose, the eyes all have to kind of go to the left. There's, you know, if we you know, cheat a little bit. All right, we bring this in and over and down. Even that one. Okay, so it's not just all of it over and down. It's this one here. Definitely in and over. Getting used to the hotkeys still. Alright, I mean, we're kind of there. So our big flaws were placement of the eyes. And the angles of things. Let's take out these quasi guidelines real quick. We'll use the raw source. Do it again. So this mouth, we've got like a thicker bottom lip. Not that thick. It's not a thick line, but it's a line that looks almost horizontal. It comes down, you know, meets this bottom lip. A little circle somewhere in there. Right above that line. Alright, and it's a little curved, but the nose, which I'm always afraid is too far left. So we're gonna go, we're definitely too far left right now. And I think that's a rotation of the line, like the line's not at a good angle, like this line. So we're gonna try to find that line again. Let's continue. There's some issues, but let's hit those. I think clearly one thing we're seeing is the eye behind the eye. It's one thing I've seen talked about, where like you draw the eyeball and then the lids, right? And then you get rid of the, now you have your eye, right? But there's clearly a sphere back here. I think I kind of see that, or I'm making it up. I mean, it's not the iris, right? That's not what we're talking. That's not what I think I'm talking about, but it's all right. We're trying to just get things lined up on the proportion of the face more than we're trying to do better there. I think we're definitely like kill that line. Pencil. So the dead eyes. Alright. Eyebrows are in a bit. They're lined up. And that eye is wildly in the wrong place, or a little bit in the wrong place. So I won't have to give an answer if I make it all script, if I sketch all the lines terribly. Commit to a line. Let's just take Alt the I again and redo it. That's the wrong pencil. I mean, it is the pencil. Now, one of the things really throwing me off, I didn't land a smile. In fact, we didn't land eyes looking in the right direction. So if it's more over here. And then this bottom lip is smiling? Is that where the smile comes from? Man, talk about a little bit, kind of where the smile comes from, but we're definitely thickening a bunch of unsure lines. So let's put a cap on this one. Alright, I mean, we can even see the hair comes through, over, down, up and around, somewhere up there. Alright, now how do we place things on the face? Okay, let's go in proportion a bit. I think we can reasonably shrink to about there. Let's apply that transformation. Let's put the background in blue. Give it a little opacity so I can see what we're working with over here. And if I line up the eyes, they're spaced well. They still look like a crazy person, but they're spaced well to the top of the nose, and the nose is too long, and that all collides with the chin. If I was to transform that and play around with it, we get a lie, but we get something that visually looks like it's framed better. But let's keep the lie out of our result. Oh, no. All right, guys. I'm gonna trace over some lines real quick over the face, and then I think we're gonna take it offline. But I want my pencil. What am I doing? Am I in the middle? Oh, I'm in the middle of a transformation. Deselect. Oh shit. I'm trying to move you. We could always try simplifying this to help, and we did that a little bit. Where the basic shapes, like, I think the side of the head is kind of back there. Just under the hair layer, right? Eyes. I think today we just kind of wanted to try to doodle anime, which is just a mood we sometimes get to have. Tracing in a way that we try to find and understand the shape of these things. I was gonna say, and we learned that we can do these lines too. There are lines that exist that I'm able to copy, and then I just did a big old, squiggly. So if I can draw the physical lines as he rushes and can't draw them. So, I know we're capable. We have to understand it. Can I draw the lines? If we really focus up, are we drawing the lines? I know as soon as I remove the background from this, we see that the lines we did put down we'll be less confident in what we're saying. Not that I think I'm doing this thing right now where I'm also being quick and hasty, so I can say I was being quick and hasty, it doesn't matter. We can see, hey, we can put the lines down that look like a person. We just need to find those lines ourselves. And now we have the eyeballs. Wild and things of nightmares. I have problems with eye shapes and eyeball looking positions. They just look so intense. It has nothing to do with the fact that they're really thick lines that look like they're looking in two directions. We'll get there. Oh boy. But I think we've just kind of hit my personal line for I don't know what we call it. It's not quite anxiety. I'm ready to take it offline. It's alright. Focus. Personal line for focus. Online focus. Streaming focus. We got a good... Oh shit, it's only been like 3 hours. We're going to do some classwork. We're going to go do some study work. We're going to do this some more as well. I think there's some value in it. I need to do more doodles from imagination. I got a list. Don't let me start listing things off I need to do. We're here 5 days a week. 2, 4, 6 hours a day, whatever it ends up being. Originally, we were streaming 6 hours, 11 a.m. to 5. But we were gaming then. We're arting now. Times are variable. I'm just rambling, guys. Having a good time. Thank you all so much for hanging out. There's lots of good information and tips coming from you guys. Lots of good feedback and encouragement. I appreciate it. It's going to be a journey. This is another day in the journey. I'll be around. Have a good one.